afraid.
I'm gonna have to pull it up anyway. Oh, there it goes. All right, we're here. Italy versus Turkey. As hey, that person's not in, so no worries about name. Actually, they aren't. That is. Hey, the sides are wrong. I want to throw this out right now.
The sides are wrong.
The sides are wrong. Italy should be on the right. Turkey should be on the left. So keep
also,
that in mind.
my observer is looking up at the sky.
And my observer is
There we go.
also. Oh yeah, our observer is also needs to get rid of the sidebar. Control needs to be hit on the keyboard this moment in time. As for the time being. Zono already down for Italy, as Turkey look to be in good position. Getting rid of Chimera 2 is also a pretty good note, as yeah, Turkey is going to move on forward, get this first point without any real issue.
Yeah, really good start there from the side of Turkey. Here we are going to see flat on that Tracer, which we saw them do absolutely wondrous things yesterday. Almost miraculous, honestly. Looking like Santa Claus with what they were able to pull out of their sack. But now it looks like Italy is going to be walking main yet again. Light on that Orisa is going to be pushing on forward. A lot of damage getting put. Look at how much All Charge Lethal already has on the table. I mean, close to coming online. Oh my god, 10% with a nade? That's... Wow!
Yeah, that is kind of nasty, everything considered. And now they're pushed back even further, and Italy hasn't really even sniffed the other side of the bridge quite yet. It's kind of insane, which, by the way, guys, thank you for that follow as we come to a pause. Oh, that's unfortunate.
That is an unfortunate start.
But no, seriously, thank you for that follow, guys. Wonderland, happy to have you here, genuinely so. We are very excited to cover all of these Turkey games this entire weekend, honestly. I'm gonna go ahead and let them know that the thing is the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, as like me and Hunter both talked about we were both there for the Team Turkey tryout, so we got to see the potential of these players as they were trying out to represent their country. And now we have these rosters, and I mean, the side of Turkey is an incredibly dominant one. Belgium was super incredibly close, as we do have an Italian player disconnecting. Is going to be the cause for the pause. It's going to be the flex support for Italy. Excuse me. That's again. Whenever like overlays are messed up for me, it like messes with my mind so badly. I don't know if that's like just a me thing because I'm like kind of new, or if that's just like an in general kind of thing.
No, I completely understand it. To be fair, like the thing at the end of the day is everyone experiences like this way differently. Like for some people, like who have been like, I don't even want to say just at it for years. People who have like. I think of like a Commander X who just is so comfortable in like everything he does, and it's kind of crazy seeing somebody be that comfortable because I'm like, there are times where there's like 95% of the time I could sit here and be extremely comfortable. I can feel awake and at it whenever, but there are like those moments times where I'm covering something and I'm like, I'm nervous, and it's really weird that I'm nervous. Like I did it was the Greece South Africa thing. I think it was Greece, South Africa. But I did that, and for some reason I was like, why am I nervous? I've done like 9 show matches at this point. Why am I nervous about this one in particular?
I mean, I would be nervous with my first show match, but you know, you said that you've done them a couple times there, and so yeah, it's just sometimes the nerves just hit a little bit. Like I thought I'd be really nervous coming.
Yeah, very much so. We'll see what comes to form here. As, again, Lethal already going to have this override protocol good to go. But Light, in all fairness, is also going to have a little bit of care coming with the Terra Surge. But the problem is, one's a lot easier to use than the other without some level of initiation, as Lethal gets speared out of the air momentarily. I don't know if that's going to give you the reprieve that you're looking for, because right now, everyone is getting forced back. Trying to build up one more, but Lethal won't be able to do so, as nobody goes down as a direct result, but the Lucio being pushed back, eventually taken care of. Weird trade, all things considered, as Lethal going to be gone as well, but with Light falling over, this is still incredibly back and forth. I think Turkey should be able to sustain off the back of this, but Chimera sounds otherwise. Chimera thinks this is very winnable, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, Chimera does commit the Pulse Bomb also, and Kabi drops in a little low, but we're not going to be able to get taken down. Yo,
Flicko, welcome run on in. As we do see the beat coming through here from Farouk, going to connect on all 5 players from the side of Turkey. So right now this could go either way. Catacomb, that Lucio is not going to be having that beat just yet. Going to be able to pop it, but 2 players left for the side of Italy. Is going to make it so difficult for Italy to win this out as they don't have the manpower or the presence available. There's one more touch, but it doesn't matter all too much. 96%, and it's going to go to the side of Turkey.
Yeah, that is a crazy one right there. A quick one there for Turkey. 100-0. Doesn't even have to use Annihilation. That's insane. Like Italy were just able to do nothing that whole game. And, like, I guess, like, the one credit you do have to genuinely give to the squad is 100% Chimera, who is the only one to put up, like, anything. Like Light has a lot of damage, certainly so. But Chimera was popping off in that backline and almost single-handedly, like, won them that fight.
Yeah, really good stuff from the side of Turkey. I mean, look, only 3 kills from them, or 3 deaths on the side of Turkey. Really, really good, powerful start. I mean, Lethal was just able to build up that ult so incredibly fast. Look at the damage. Already 5.6k in 1 round in a 100-0 situation. Like, hello? Flat is going to be over on that Symmetra, but just probably for the first... TP. Yeah, swapping back over to that Tracer. And now we're going to see Light actually onto that Malga now. We're going to have to see how that matches up against the Ramatra. Definitely an interesting compositional choice as a Chimera also going to be on that Reaper. So we're going to have to see now if Italy's compositional swaps are going to be the benefactor of them or if it's just going to be Turkey taking this in a 2-0 fashion.
Yeah, because the Malga can be hit or miss. I saw it work very heavily yesterday with that Vivacity game, and it was really tough to deal with right now, but it's going to be a good time cleanse to kind of keep them out of danger. But Lethal... he's just being taken from 3 different sides, and there's nothing you can do about it right here. So Farouk is going to get pushed back into the corner without Lethal used out on so much potential damage. And Cabby, all you can do is just sit there, take all the damage, and likely to eventually fall over. At the very least, likely going to have to handle this point over as Cabby is in the corner, and there's just nothing you can do here. What are you supposed to do into that?
Yeah, Farouk is able to get the kill onto Light, but Italy do have that first cap. Flat is able to get the kill onto the Tracer, however, so it is going to be another back and forth exchange. Chimera going to TP over to this white room, not going to be able to find anything. Already has no cooldowns left. Dire Triggers is still alive. Lethal taken incredibly low. Flat is able to get the kill onto Little Plume, but it doesn't matter all too much as Chimera has gotten a trade. But the flip comes through for Turkey. They are going to be able to get some percentages on the board as Italy decides to kite this out.
Yeah, that will be nice and decided right there. You're already worrying about having Kitsune rushes online here pretty shortly. Flat also having a Pulse Bomb ready to go as well. So we'll see, as I imagine, there's going to be quick advantage taken here as they're in deep. Cleanse ends up getting used here, so with your Lucio no longer in to play, it's a rough scenario to work with for Italy, but they're trying to burn through Cabby. Big Stick comes through, but he's going to be able to sustain through it all anyway, and they'll hang around there. Lethal finishing off 2, and that's another fight in favor of Turkey.
Yeah, really good. I mean, Kavi just being able to survive literally every single thing and the kitchen sink thrown at him is insane, actually. Just hold block the entire time, and everybody forgets that Lethal exists on the map, and you can't really forget that Lethal exists, especially with an override protocol so aggressive like this. You're going to be looking at Light incredibly hard, but they're not going to be able to do anything with it. He's going to have to run back to spawn. This really just is only to get some percentage on the board. As we do approach that halfway mark for Turkey, they have the ult on board in order to get the job done here.
Yeah, and it gets jumped there momentarily. It was trying to set up for a pulse, but gets the stick on the Tracer. Oh my God, Flat, you absolute menace. And now Italy just has to go all in over on the point. Chimera's going to send it in, but Sound Barrier prevents some of that damage, but not all of it. Lethal, IME, Farouk, all falling over, and it's just the cleanup squad coming through as Cabby very smartly going to hold on to the Annihilation as Flat just going to get out of there alive as 77%. Still, nothing to scoff at. It puts them in a decent territory.
Yeah, but now the real issue for Italy is that they only have that beat online to work with, nothing else even remotely close. So Turkey, they do have a couple of ults coming online, especially since Lethal has been able to build it so incredibly fast. So this could definitely go the way of Turkey if they do go in with this Annihilation and this beat is bad. But they are going to be able to pop it first, go instantly in. Farouk dropping incredibly low, gets taken down. A nice boop from the Italian Lucio is going to make things a little bit more difficult, but the Annihilation is good, going to connect onto one player, and so now Turkey's going to be able to set up on this objective, but Light is able to get the trade onto the Kiriko, and so now it's looking like a back and forth exchange. Chimera taken down. This is, again, a mirror matchup of attrition, as Farouk is going to be able to come back. Kabi dropping incredibly low, going to have to hold block, but Lethal gets a nice pick, and the flip comes through. So this could go either way.
Yeah, that's a crazy flip, by the way, because even though this is Turkey's rough scenario to be in right now, Light overextends. Never mind, it's no longer unfortunate for them. It's an overextension, and now, oh, never mind. What a boop? Does that boop count? Does Plum make it back? Yeah, they're going to be able to get in, cleanse, step over. And now overtime is ready to activate, but Lethal is in charge of shutting down the entirety of this fight right now. Flat is coming back with the pulse bomb, but Lethal is going to hold back absolutely nothing here, trying to force everybody back as Chimera going to try to enter that back line, but it's just everyone's separated. Everyone's in a really rough situation as a result, as someone has to eventually fall over. Certainly so. It's rough to lose out on Yubi. What? Oh my Flat! They have a family! What is going on here? We're back. Kitsune Rush is here. The fight's still going on. Giving a Kitsune Rush to Amalga is terrifying, to say the least, right here, especially with the cage fight now in line. But all you can do is run in there and try to burn away that Kiriko, who's barely hanging in there. But unfortunately, I think the damage is already done, as Italy is going to be able to force the reset here from Turkey.
I mean, despite the heroics of Flat, you know, not able to get the job done at the end of the day, and so now we're looking at a potential start here for Italy. They do have that pulse bomb online, and that beat is coming online. Chimera coming close to that death blossom, but they don't have a cage to combo with, and a nice pick and a
Free
nice
flip?
is.
Oh my! What, dude? What is? Okay, big cleanse, by the way, as Italy is just like, I don't know. They're spinning right now. They're trying to find literally anything to work with. Lethal has found 3, though. Lethal finds 4. Lethal gets the ace taken away by Flat, but I doubt they're complaining a whole lot as they'll take this first map 2-0 against Italy. And to be fair, it's really good fashion as... Listen, I talked about Flat. I talked about how they were a little underrated on this squad. Let me tell you, they're good, and you saw them do that there.
Dude, what are we giving these tracers? What are we feeding these tracers to hit these disgusting pulse bombs? Like, hello? Both the Italian tracer and the Turkish tracer just hitting the most ridiculous sticks I've seen in my entire life. I mean, just a beautiful showing from that, but it is going to be Turkey taking that in a 1-0 fashion. A beautiful start from them, and now we're going to try to see if we can finish the job up for the side of Turkey.
We'll see very quickly what the case is going to be, but let me change over that score as well. That'd be fun. So Turkey takes our first map in this exchange, and honestly, love to see it ultimately. Everything that Turkey has kind of done yesterday, more specifically, it was very back and forth with, I think, what they were really going for. To be fair, this is a squad that has a lot of punch-up potential, that has very much like we saw earlier from Germany. They are willing to do some silly things from time to time, but that's mainly with Dirt in the lineup. And thus far, they have been very adamant when it comes to the idea of like, hey, we want to be able to keep in Cavi. We love Cavi. Let's go with that. And honestly, realistically, you're fine with that. Because even if you did have Dirt in, I don't know where Dirt is right. Is Dirt out in Turkey right now?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really see a reason to put Dirt in as a, you know, a hog. I'm going to say one trick, but I don't mean one trick, but you know what I mean. But I think Kabi's been going impressively hard on any tank that they've been having to play so far as right now. We do have Austria versus Switzerland also live, and Belgium versus Portugal. Austria is on their first map, and Belgium is on their second currently. If you want to, I don't know if you want to like look at them or if you just want to talk about the scores. Belgium is up right now 1-0 against Portugal, and they did full hold in front of third. Or not a full hold, so I get a hold in front of third on Midtown. So Belgium could take this in a 2-0 fashion.
They very well could. We'll see what the scenario ends up being, but honestly, I will say that sounds about right. Quite frankly, everything that we know, because the thing with Belgium is yesterday, while it's a really back and forth one for them, it's a scenario where we have to not forget how dominant they really were at sometimes during that initial game against what was it? Oh my god, why am I blanking on this? Why am I blanking? We looked on Belgium because they
Belgium versus Turkey?
Yeah, because they played Turkey, and Turkey lost that one. And Belgium, to be fair, as close as it was, they had very dominant points during that. They get utterly shut down against Poland, as we kind of briefly saw. So it's one of those scenarios where this team has super high upswing with their roster, what they can do. But the problem is I feel like they are susceptible to getting shut down if momentum doesn't go their way very quickly.
Something I want to point out, though, that I think is, I'm going to say is a surprise, you can disagree with me if you want, is the fact that Switzerland are up 1 sub point against Austria. It's a 1-0 situation right now. Austria does have the point captured technically right now, but this has the chance for Switzerland to make this a 2-0 victory for this first map.
It is fascinating because Switzerland, again, has a good roster, genuinely so. Austria has one of those where you look at that and you look at it even more, and it's like, wait, what? This is a good roster. This is a really good roster.
That's a really good roster. I mean, they got Psycho, they have Tama, they have Zydra. I mean, those are really powerful players, a bunch of tier 1 and tier 2 goats. So definitely interesting to see them kind of losing out to Switzerland like this. I mean, I'm not saying that Switzerland is a bad team per se, but it's just, it's like a situation in which Cheeseburger is taking a sub point off of Crazy Raccoons or Falcons or Zeta,
It is kind of like that, yeah. We'll see. That Swiss roster, to be good in its own right as well. Lots of players. I mean, you look at. I mean, there's players from Frosttail. There's players from the GG Yes team. The good guys sub team is on there. Honestly, this backline is what has me really confident, quite frankly, about Switzerland with UK and UK and Ducio. Ducio, who is one of what's the breakout player for that squad, who I see play in South America quite a little bit.
For Switzerland?
Yeah. Most recently,
Ducio is an American.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're the breakout player for Switzerland, but mainly have seen them on Factor X in the past, and as well as technically Dilpados as well before they became the org they became. But right now, currently, they're actually one of the coaches for the Factor X squad, which, while they're not doing the greatest in the world right now as a team, we got to see them last night go to map 5 against Agave Faca. That was a ton of fun. Really good game to witness. Hopefully see more from them in the future, but hopefully maybe later on today we'll be able to see them properly in action, because Switzerland is one of those teams that we haven't gotten to really look at yet.
Yeah, there's a couple of teams that we haven't been able to watch, but I think a lot of them show a lot of promise. So apologies if we don't get to your team. Of course, we do have to prioritize Turkey. They've been going incredibly hard, right? They do manage to get 1-1 record yesterday. A tough loss to Belgium, but it was a map 3. I think it was the first map 3 of the entirety of the Swiss stage, if I remember correctly. Or not the Swiss stage. It is a Swiss stage, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, it's a Swiss stage.
Okay, yeah. So I think it was the first 3 mapper of the Swiss stage in that first round, if I remember correctly. Yeah, except for Iceland and Italy. But other than that, it was the only map 3 that happened. Turkey's been showing incredibly strong right now, and we love to cover them as we did cover their tryouts, and we are in collaboration with Team Turkey. So obviously we got to prioritize them. But I mean, listen, these teams are all incredibly stacked, and I'm really excited to watch as much Overwatch as physically possible.
Well, we definitely are watching as much as we realistically can. Again, we're just waiting for this game to get underway for its second map, and hey, you speak of it, it shall appear. Let's go ahead and throw it over to our second map here as we head in Turkey, Italy, going to Atlas, and in terms of swaps, there's none to be seen. This is the starting 5 for both teams. They are sticking with it.
Yeah.
You are quite a little behind, I will say. Quite so. Yeah, I'll go ahead and keep an eye on things right now, because this fight is very much underway, as it's the double Zarya, which is fascinating. It's quite different from the last thing we saw, as both Tracers find victims of their own very quickly on right here. But Chimera back over on this Reaper is going to be really fascinating, especially playing with something like that Zarya that... Hey, I feel like the big reason why Zarya became meta for a little while was because that Reaper combination was so incredibly strong. But for the time being, point going to go over towards Italy. Turkey going to have to hit a quick little regroup here instead, as we seem to be relatively even with each other.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Kiriko ban is out to play. Otherwise, we wouldn't be seeing a Moira Lucio backline ever, I think. A dead stop ever. But right now it is looking like... It looks like Italy is going to be... Oh, am I ahead? Do you need me to pause?
Way ahead. Wait for the next... Wait for the fight to end. It's all good. But it looks like it is already kind of come towards the end. Let's get rid of 2. And yeah. So, yeah, you're at what?
Let me pause.
You're at 60 right now?
Right
okay,
now.
I was at like 40-something. All right, so
wow.
I'm going to let you know. 7, 8, 9, 60.
Cool.
Okay, cool. All right, we are settled back in place. I have a solution for that I'm going to attempt here in a second. We'll see how well it ends up working out as this fight is ready to go underway. Coalescence is good to go here for Little Plumas. It's going to be let loose, and it's a really aggressive stance right here, but honestly, I love it as Cabby is just running for their life, for their existence, and their existence is not even solidified. As to be fair, I don't even think you get the overtime on this point. Actually, not only that, you get a full flip. Is that going to be enough for them to be able to regroup and take an actual fight once more, though? As Lethal is going to try, gets rid of Little Plume as Beat comes out for both sides. This is genuinely fascinating that they somehow managed to turn this fight.
Yeah, really interesting. We do see that Reaper get the flip coming through, but the override. Oh my god, wait, the grab is also utilized, but Light is taking so much damage, gets taken out of the equation, and so right now it looks like to be just the Tracer alive from the side of Italy, but it looks like the flip is going to come back the way of Turkey, and it was so expensive for Italy to lose that, but they have both the DPS ults. Those are going to be the crucial moments here.
That 100% shall be. We'll see what comes to form right now. As, at least for the time being, Pulse Bomb available for Flat. Has been really good at finding targets thus far. You would love to find somebody like that. Lucio, maybe Chimera as well, if some of those cooldowns get expended. Same thing with Light. There's plenty of targets you have to go for, as right now, big one to be thrown in there. Chimera gone. Light going down as a result as well. And now you're looking to find every cleanup possible so that there's no possible way there's a recontention. And at this point right here, with just the Lucio alive, Italy, I think, is going to have to settle for the second point.
Yeah, a really good comeback there from Turkey in order to make sure they get this first point under wraps. It did take a little bit of shenanigans. They had to go for a little bit of a cheeky flip, but they are able to get the job done. As, yeah, Italy not going to be able to get that touch, and so Turkey's going to take this in a 1-0 fashion. And they did pop some ults from the side of Italy, but so did Turkey. So Turkey going to be a little behind in terms of the ult economy. So they're going to have to kind of take a neutral fight here, which will give Italy that first cap.
We'll see how things come to form from here on out here, as Lethal, a little on their own, I will say, is able to survive momentarily, but eventually we have the trade coming through in this exchange, as Chimera is going to be able to hang up out. Death Blossom still available, but at this stage of the game, it's a scenario where Turkey need to kind of burst their way in, as Coalescence thrown in. Chimera might have to consider pulling this trigger specifically onto Cabby, but no, instead, it's keeping a scenario where they're simply just going to walk in, run down the entirety of Turkey, force them out of the point. Italy will take the second point this time around.
Yeah, Italy did pop a couple of ults. Lethal does pop the override protocol, maybe finds that Lucio. A nice shot from them, but it doesn't matter all too much, as that window and override protocol were utilized, but Italy take away this first cap without having to use all too much. A really good start there from Italy, as they do manage to come up on they're coming up on 4 ults of their own, as Turkey they have Pulse Bomb and they're 60 to a B, but that's like it for them, so it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge in order to get a flip going.
Yeah, Death Blossom coming through there. Momentary lag, but everything is still good and bueno, as Cabby running for the life. Unfortunately, I don't think running's going to help you on this one. As you take the weird trade out here, both of these Aryas gone flat, gets rid of 2. It's just coming down to a potential 2v1 over on the point. Boom, doing their best to stay alive, but it'll flip over at 68%. And now, Farouk coming back with a sound barrier to match Light's Graviton Surge.
Yeah, the sound barrier is going to be so critical in order to determine who wins out this fight. Are they going to have to do something different? Otherwise, I mean, Turkey does have the advantage right now in terms of the point capture that they do have on the table. They're a little bit behind in terms of percentage, but Italy have a lot of tools in order to take back the objective. That's going to be the really crucial thing. Are they going to be able to make it a close situation, or is Turkey going to be able to hold on through sheer willpower?
We'll see as the grab has come through. Cabby's in it, still alive. Pulse Bomb on them would be absolutely deadly this time, but not even worrying about using it here, as they have invested a ton in this one. Pulse Bomb, it sticks for Flat, but it doesn't matter, unfortunately, because of being able to simply fade out of it. So now with 75%, Flat realistically has to worry about getting the touch on this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult touch, too. You don't really have anything coming back, necessarily. I mean, coming back with your own override protocol, there it is, going to be popped from Lethal, looking for something to get done. Probably manages to not get the kill onto the Reaper, who has that bait in the perfect position. Oh, Little Plume gets taken down. Maybe another kill onto Lucio. No, not able to find it just yet. Oh, nice nade is going to allow that trade to come through. Neither support is alive. Lethal with a 3K. Wait, give him a 4K? Okay, give him a 5K? Oh, Kabi takes it, but... Wow, beautiful showing from Lethal.
Well, okay, I have to pause. I absolutely have to. It's so sick.
Wait, where are you at?
I was way ahead of you. Like, I already seen, like, most of the fight while you were talking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, 92, 93, 94.
Yeah, don't even worry. Yeah, my strategy was working. I overtuned. But either way, Graviton Surge is ready. Pulls in a whopping 3 burger, and they are all cooked. It's going to be map and match point here for Turkey. They're sitting in pretty position right now as things stand. Oh boy, Italy is trying hard, and they're fighting back really well, but just not fully going their way.
Yeah, a really good showing there from Turkey in order to secure that point based off of Lethal. Dude, look at how fast Lethal is getting ult. I mean, they're 63 to another, and I swear to God, they just had it. So this is really going to be an interesting fight here for Italy. They have to go huge with this pulse bomb. Zono gonna have to, or Zono gets taken out from Lethal. So before I can even fix pronouncing the name, they're taken out of the fight.
Yep, Zono is the way to pronounce it, very happily so, as we have Lethal trying to pop off, and Lethal with their one on this fight, by the way, just managed to get these up like it's a regular cooldown, as Turkey will solidify that third point for the time being. Flat does have a pulse bomb, thought about it, but is going to believe to do otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, taking a lot of damage there, you're going to have to kind of just back up to the best of your ability. And so now Turkey going to have that first cap. They're going to have a Pulse Bomb online, but that's it for Turkey. Italy have the advantage, but they need to pop this Reaper ult at some point. Otherwise, they're kind of just holding it for nothing.
Yeah, Pulse Bomb going to miss out, but honestly, I don't think we're crying over that right now. It's a 3v5 now with Italy struggling to hang in there. They are being so heavily pushed back, and Turkey is just looking phenomenal. They have one fight left to potentially claim this one, but they are walking with a full house coming online here for Italy.
Yeah, the full house is huge for them. They have pretty much everything in their arsenal, but it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, right? You know, how can Turkey manage to hold on? They're coming close to a beat, but if they can get it to 99%, and if Italy uses too many ults, then they can come back with complete ease and just kind of secure it off of just a couple of fights. I mean, we know Lethal's going to have another ult pretty soon here.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be a bit of a rough scenario for them. But hey, this one's underway. Good sound barrier. It's quite a bit being used, but honestly, I don't mind it. Double support being thrown in here. Big cleanup coming through from Italy as they'll clean this one up big time. Flat, only one alive. Just going to try to get out of there with their life intact. That they will try. And they well, I'll say they shall for now.
Yeah, they shall for now is going to be the takeaway. But Turkey now going to be coming up on their own beat and their grab, and there's nothing from Italy to respond with besides maybe their own grab online. But Turkey have all the advantage here despite not having their support ults just yet. Chimera has to go massive with this Reaper ult. That's the real question, right? Are you going to be able to utilize this to pop off, or is this going to be an interesting situation?
They basically just solo caddy with it, honestly. Give them credit, I suppose. I mean, what else do you do right there? Lethal gets a weird pick, though. Just Farouk. Just for test it. And the answer is, yeah, go in the 4v4. Let's make it happen. But there's no easy targets, unfortunately. Eventually, Chimera does go down, but you have Zono who's still kind of running around the Lucio there as well, as eventually Lethal is kind of pushed off onto their own. The question is, can you stall long enough for Light to get back into this fight and have this Graviton Surge? The answer is, I think you have managed it. Indeed, yes. At least the flip coming through for now. That Lucio is just trying to run away, but they don't even touch the point again. Wait, what?
They don't.
Okay, Turkey just take it in a 2-0 fashion, and Italy get swagged out on by Lethal on that Emre and the rest of the Turkey squad. Really good showing from them, proving why they are still one of those top contenders despite the rough loss to Belgium. But hey, I mean, that was pretty fire. That was a pretty close and incredible game to watch, honestly.
Yeah, I love that coming through there. Now that puts Turkey up 2-1 in the overall standing, sitting in a lot better position here. So good for them. It is amazing to see how they've kind of already grown over the weekend, quite frankly.
Yeah, we do have, just checking the other matches. Did Belgium manage to beat Portugal, or are they going to map 3?
Well,
trying to figure this out.
It's a good question. It's a great question, as a matter of fact.